Okay, this is how to create a solid peel paragraph on I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by Wordsworth. I've chosen to look at stanza 2, which is the stanza that says, "Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line across the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance." And the two lines that I'm going to focus on are these two here. So we're going to be having a look at how these make the poet feel, what they show his feelings of nature are. The first thing I've done is have a look at some key words in that quote. So we're having a look at this word glance, which means take a brief look. And if we remember, Wordsworth is imagining that he is one of these clouds in the sky. He's the only cloud in the sky on a blue day. And glance means to take a brief look. So if you can imagine that Wordsworth is this cloud up in the sky and he takes a brief look and what he sees is 1,000 daffodils all at once, which gives us the impression that, there must be loads and loads around them, because if you can take that image in just a brief look, then it's quite a powerful one, okay? The other word that I was unsure of here is a sprightly dance. So the verb sprightly means energetic or lively. So here are some daffodils, the blowing in the wind, which gives them that flutter, that dance that I'm sure you've seen them all do as you walk past them in the park. This is a lady tossing her head backwards, and doesn't she look very happy? So we've got that image of being free, being happy, being joyful at spring. And here is another lovely lady doing a sprightly dance. So we can see that, she's doing something energetic, she's happy. Oh, and look, she's surrounded by lovely nature. Here's your peel, okay? So it looks a bit complicated at first, but don't be put off by that. I'm going to go through it bit by bit with you. First of all, we've got the peel, and I've put that little 3 in there to remind you that you need to make 3 points about your evidence, okay? So our point, which is this one here, is Wordsworth is feeling uplifted by the sight of nature. I think we could agree that, couldn't we? That word uplifted, if you're not sure what that means, look it up in a dictionary and maybe look at some synonyms for uplifted that you could use in your peel paragraph, okay? So Wordsworth is feeling uplifted by the sight of nature. Then our first E is for evidence. The quote that supports this is, 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Okay, so that's those 2 lines that we just had a look at on the previous slide. So that's all I've done, is pop it in there saying that the quote that supports this. So then we get to our explanation, and remember we've got 1, 2, 3 points of our explanation, and that's what's going to get you these marks, okay? That's what's going to get you these grades. So you've thought of 3 different things that you can explore within this quote. So the first thing I've said is that a glance is a brief look, and that's something that we said when we looked it up in the dictionary on the definition. And exactly what I said on that previous slide. So to see 10,000 in a glance shows us the poet feels overwhelmed with the number of daffodils on display. Then we get to our second point, our second point for our explanation. A sprightly dance is an energetic one, and the imagery, that's a really good word. Do you remember we did that in class, an imagery, which it means making a show out of words, okay? And the imagery this creates is of a large number of yellow flowers performing a lively show. Okay, we all know that daffodils are yellow, so you could put that in there. Because it's quite a sight, isn't it, when the colours are all exactly the same, because it just makes it a stronger, bolder colour. The third point for our explanation is daffodils cannot move on their own, so they must be moving in the wind. The verb, always good to put a word class in there, the verb tossing gives the impression of a happy throwback of the head. And then our L is our link back to the question. The picture the poet paints through these words is one of joy at seeing such a beautiful and happy sight. Now, there's no words in there that are very complicated. It's all quite basic vocabulary. There are some words in there that you might want to look up. Uplifted, perhaps, overwhelmed, performing, and I think that's probably it. You should know what all the other words mean. When you put all this together, you don't put it into these brackets at the side, okay? You put it all into one paragraph. So this is one Peel paragraph. So you just follow them on line after line. We'll go through that more in class as well before we do the assessment. And I hope this helps you. Thank you.